Alright there folks, welcome to another bite-sized fishing adventures, and we're talking about loops today and knots. I keep it mega simple. I use one tool to tie my knots and I only ever really use one kind of knot unless I'm doing something different, but I'll explain that in a minute. So the tool you're going to need for this is one of these. It's a loop tool. You can't get any simpler than that really. One of the questions that came up is, how do you get your loops all the same size in your hook boxes and make sure that everything is the same length? A bit of practice, a little bit of time, and definitely one of these. So how does it work? The knot that this helps tie is a figure of 8 knot. Now the figure of 8 knot is generally 10% better and stronger than an overhand knot. The reason being is because it creates a figure of 8, it doesn't bite on itself, if that makes sense. The more you pull it, the tighter it gets, but it won't crush any particular part of the line going through that knot. Now it's a knot that I first came across when I was in my teens, and I used to do a ton of climbing. I mean, I was climbing every weekend, everywhere I could. Obviously back then I was a lot fitter, quite a lot slimmer, but we won't go down that route, okay, because I'll only get depressed. So I want to try and show you how to tie this figure of 8 knot. Now I've got some massively thick line here. Check this bad boy out. It is 0.29 line, and it's the thickest line I could find because I want to show you it properly. If I tried doing it with string, it wouldn't look quite right. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you can trim down as a bought hook length. They're 30 centimeters by the way, and I'm going to show you my little trick for getting it cut down to size perfectly every time to fit in a hook box, okay? So bear with me while I move the camera and stuff, and we'll crack right on. Right then, so loop tire, your spooler line. I'm going to show you it without the loop tire to start with, okay, because it's important to know both. So basically what you're going to do first of all is just create a loop in that line, okay? So straighten that off, and then what you're going to do is you're going to make one loop like that. Now with an overhand loop, you're going to put that loop in that one. We're not going to do that today, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take the loop around and over around the back of there, and then it's going to go through that loop, and then you can pull it tight, and it should, if you can see that, you put the shadow is probably a better image actually. It's going to look like a figure of 8, okay? With any knot, just moisten it. I'm not going to do it today because I'm never going to use this knot, and then just pull it tight like that, and that is a perfect figure of 8 loop, okay? And that is a mega strong knot, and as I say, that you can pull it and pull it and pull it. It's not going to crush itself, it's just going to get tighter and tighter and stronger, and that is basically a figure of 8 knot. So I'm going to show you that, but with the loop tire. Now one word of caution with the loop tires, okay, it's worth spending a few pence extra to get a proper one, because if you don't, the cheaper ones will have a ridge over there. As you can see on that one, it is totally smooth. The cheap ones have a little knob on there, and it makes it so difficult to actually get a proper loop. So let's have a look at that now. So the loop tire, what we're going to do is get your bit of line, create that first loop, and then I'm going to put my finger in the loop and then just grip it with those two fingers. So the loop of line is going up there around my finger, back down the other side. Then I'm going to take the loop tool, try and do this so it's best, okay? Then you hook onto the line, and then it's simply a case of twisting it once, twice. Now the loop that's in your finger needs to go over this top section of the loop tire, okay? So that gets hooked in there, and then you simply pull tight and then slide it off. Oops, where are we? There we go. And then slide it that way, pull it tight, and you've got a perfect figure of 8 knot on there, okay? So there we go folks, that was the loop tire. It wasn't massively clear, and I do apologise for that. I need to try and work out a better way of doing it. maybe with some different camera angles and stuff like that, but you get the general gist. So what I'm going to show you now is just trimming down and pre-made hook length. As I say, these are, I mean, the big hooks for the camera. What are they? They're a size 12 with a bait band on, and these are 30 centimetre hook lengths, okay, straight out of the packet. But they're no good at that length and that whatever. So the idea is I'm going to break them down, pop them into a standard hook length box, and I'm going to show you that right now. Right then, so here is your pre-tied hook length, or maybe it's a hook length you've just tied at home and you want to get them consistently to fit in your box with a nice neat loop using the loop tire. So first things first, you'll notice inside the box, obviously there's pins there to hook your hook lengths on, which is pretty obvious, to be perfectly honest. So clip your hook length in one side, and then whatever size you make it, there's a corresponding pin from 4, 5, 6 inches in this Preston box, okay? So what we're going to do is cut it down to size with a nice neat loop so it fits perfectly in this box. Now you'll notice on the lid side you've got a spare set of pegs. Alright, that's not a mistake, it's not by accident, it's not there to give you a little bit of extra storage. It's so you can measure accurately exactly what length you'll need. So we're going to do this at 6 inch. So what I'm going to do is put the hook on that side, and then I'm going to loop this line round those pins there. Alright, hope that is clear on there, and that is going to be a perfect 6 inch hook length. But how do we know it's going to be perfectly 6 inches? Well, it's witchcraft, to be honest. All you do is grab both bits of line, lift it off those hooks, and as you'll see there, where are we? There we go. As you'll see there, we're left with a massive loop of line. So what I do is grip it like I did before in those 2 fingers. I then put my finger in that top loop and just swap my fingers over. So that is exactly how we used the loop tire before, with that bit of line in there. So all I'm going to do is get the loop tire again, pop it in, twist once, twice, hook it over, pull it tight. I'm not going to moisten it because I'm never going to use these hooks, and then just pull it tight, and that there is hooked onto that bottom look, and then just take it off, and that is a perfectly sized, whoops, where are we? Whoa, come back, perfectly sized 6 inch hook length, and that there is a nice neat tiny little knot that is basically what you want. You want that consistency and that accuracy with those loops. So what I'm going to do is, I've not got my scissors, so I'm going to just nip the line off like so, and now we're going to pop it in our box. So like we did before, it'll fit in nice and neatly into those 6 inches. So we'll put the loop on there, feed that across, and just clip your hook in. There we go, and that is a perfect 6 inch hook length. Alright, now the knot there is nice and small. If you use the hook tire, you're going to get them that consistent every single time, and you're going to end up with consistent hook lengths all the time. And as we've said before, consistency is king in fishing. Alright, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be from your rig setup, your pole float shotting, your hook length patterns, anything like that. If you've got consistency and you know it works, it's going to stand you in good stead. All right, I hope that was clear enough. I hope it made sense. If not, leave me a comment and I'll try and do it a different way to maybe make it a little bit clearer. But yeah, another little top tip for you. Invest a couple of quid, get one of them. I don't even think that was a couple of quid. What's on there? £1.49, and it'll just mean everything is a lot more consistent, okay? And as I said before, consistency is king. So I hope you enjoyed that. Stick around, plenty more to come. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.